Welcome to my channel. Behind the crimson gates of the Forbidden City was another world, ruled not by the Emperor, but by silence, jealousy, and secrets. It was a world of gold and silk where beauty was power and danger was everywhere. It was the hidden heart of the Empire, the place where history's greatest love story began, and where some say the most hauntingly beautiful ghosts still walk free. They called it the Harem, or more intimately, the Hugong, literally meaning the women's inner courtyard. In its prime, this place housed thousands of women from the 15-year-old empress to the lowest-ranked maids. But within these high walls and golden gates, their lives were luxurious but confined, competitive and lonely, and always shadowed by an unseen force, the power of superstition. It's me. And here's one of the most haunting histories from the Forbidden City. A place where beauty was power and danger was everywhere. For 500 years, the Harem was the beating heart of China's imperial court, a bustling city within a city that housed thousands of women from the highest-ranking empresses to the lowest concubines. These women were not just partners, mistresses, or even wives. They were pawns in a deadly game of chance, each vying for one goal, the favor of the dragon. The hierarchy was strict. First came the empress, the mother of the emperor's children. His wife, the only one who could share the dragon throne. Below her were the imperial consorts, the 6 women who were elevated to the same rank as the empress, sharing her privileges and her status. Then came the concubines, the favorites who shared the emperor's bed, but not his title. Beneath them were the court ladies who waited in the wings, hoping for their chance to catch the dragon's eye. And finally, at the bottom, were the palace maids and eunuchs who kept the harem running smoothly. No matter where you stood, life in the harem was a luxury. There were countless servants to cater to their every whim, villas instead of rooms and exquisite garments made of gold and silk. But this gilded cage had its own demons. In the cramped confines of the harem, beauty was the only currency that mattered. You could rise to unimaginable heights, become the favorite concubine or even the empress, all because of a single smile or a turn of your head. But you could also fall just as fast, losing everything, including your life, on the whisper of a rumor or a stolen glance. In this place, every woman was both predator and prey. In this deadly game of desire, there were no rules, only instinct. Here, the quietest whisper could become a raging fire, and a simple smile could cost you everything. Even the hallowed halls of the imperial garden were not safe. Legend has it that after the death of her beloved husband, the kind-hearted Empress Lu took her own life in this very garden. Now some say her spirit lingers here, seeking solace or perhaps revenge, as unlucky concubines find themselves the victims of strange occurrences, hearing the echo of her footsteps near the lotus pond or seeing her white figure standing sadly by the moon gate. And when night falls, the scent of lotus blossoms mingles with the faint sound of her mournful flute, carried on the evening breeze through the tranquil gardens. The air in the harem was thick with mystery and dread. Unexplained illnesses, sudden falls, and mysterious disappearances were commonplace, and whispers of poison-laced tea, cursed hairpins, and vengeful ghosts filled the courtyards. Then, there were the strange happenings around every corner. Concubine Zhen, who had accidentally upset the empress, was reportedly pushed down a well, never to be seen again. Noble consort Xian, the emperor's first wife, died mysteriously after drinking a cup of tea. And many others met their end in ways that were never fully explained, leaving behind only rumors and fears. The palace walls seemed to have a will of their own, swallowing up those who dared to cross them. In this labyrinth of desire and deceit, nothing was as it seemed and nobody was truly safe. One misstep, one wrong glance, or one whispered word could change everything, bringing unimaginable favor or utter ruin. As the sun set over the Forbidden City, long shadows stretched across the courtyards and the temperature seemed to drop. Suddenly, it was as if the very walls were holding their breath, waiting for something. Then, from somewhere deep within the palace, a scream echoed through the night, shattering the silence and sending shivers down their spines. Every morning when the first rays of sunlight touched the horizon, the women of the harem would jump into action, Each had their own little rituals, charms and talismans they clutched close, hoping to attract the emperor's attention or ward off bad luck. Some turned to more forbidden means, whispering curses under their breath or consulting with fortune tellers and mediums who specialized in love spells and protective incantations. These secret rituals weren't just about luck or fortune. They were acts of desperation, a testament to the cutthroat competition that existed in the harem. Nothing was off limits when it came to securing a place in the emperor's heart, or at least in his bedchamber. But even the most powerful of charms couldn't protect against the one constant threat, the eunuchs. These men were the messengers of the emperor's desires, delivering summons to the women of the harem and escorting them to the emperor's chambers. They were also, according to legend, masters of manipulation, wielding considerable power and influence in the harem. Some rumored they pocketed bribes to deliver messages late, ensuring certain women missed their chance with the emperor. Others claimed they orchestrated rivalries among the women, fanning the flames of jealousy to keep them distracted. And still, others spoke of eunuchs who took things a step further, turning the emperor against his favorites and orchestrating their downfall. Within the Forbidden City, the eunuchs were a force to be reckoned with. With sharp tongues and sharper minds, they navigated the treacherous waters of the harem, always aware of the delicate balance of power around them. They knew that one wrong move could cost them their position, their fortune, or even their lives. At the center of it all was the emperor's eye, a symbol of ultimate power and the key to untold riches or devastating ruin. Chosen women would be summoned to the emperor's chambers, but few returned to tell the tale. Many perished in the emperor's bed, dying from his affections or worse, becoming his murder victims. Those who did return bore the mark of the emperor's favor, coveted and envied by all. The price of the emperor's eye, however, was steep. Living in the gilded cage of the harem was a fate worse than death for many. When a woman entered the harem, she did so knowing she might never see the daylight again. The lucky ones, the chosen few, were granted audiences with the emperor, a single night of splendor that could change their lives forever. But the vast majority never got their chance, fading into the background, their faces forgotten, their names unspoken. These women weren't just pawns in a game. They were souls trapped in a gilded cage, their lives measured out in stolen glances and whispered rumors. As night fell over the Forbidden City, their stories echoed through the empty halls, a haunting reminder of the countless faces that had graced these courtyards and then vanished without a trace. For some, the harem was a prison, a place of endless nights and stolen dreams. But for others, it was a battlefield, a place where the stakes were high and the competition was fierce. Every sunrise brought new challenges, new rivals, and new dangers, and every sunset left them one step closer to either triumph or ruin. Within the intricate network of courtyards and palaces, there was always the threat of scandal, of being caught in the wrong place at the wrong time, or of making a single misstep that could cost everything. As the years passed, the harem remained a place of both beauty and brutality, of hope and despair. It was a world unto itself, governed by its own laws and shrouded in its own secrets. And amidst all this intrigue and danger, there were those who managed to not just survive, but thrive. Women like Empress Dowager Cixi, who started as a lowly concubine, but eventually seized power, ruling the Chinese Empire from behind the scenes. Her story was one of cunning, ambition, and ruthlessness, a testament to the incredible lengths to which a woman could go in the pursuit of power. Then there were the women whose stories were less about power and more about mystery. Some say the harem was haunted by the ghosts of those who had met unfortunate ends within its walls. Perhaps you've heard their stories whispered in the dead of night, tales of women who lost their lives in the most bizarre circumstances. Some say they died from poisoned tea or hairpins, while others vanished without a trace. And then there's the infamous Empress Lu, who, after the death of her beloved husband the emperor, took her own life in the Imperial garden. Legend has it that her spirit lingers here, seeking peace or perhaps revenge, with unlucky concubines falling victim to strange occurrences. Today, the Forbidden City is a museum open to the public. Visitors from around the world come to marvel at its beauty and learn about its fascinating history. But some say that when they visit, they can't shake the feeling that they're not alone. Many report feeling a sudden chill or sensing a presence behind them when no one is there. Some have even captured strange images on camera, blurry figures that seem to fade in and out of existence. As you wander through the empty halls and courtyards, you can almost hear the echoes of their footsteps and voices. And when night falls, the whispers become more intense, carrying on the wind through the tranquil gardens. You might hear the faint sound of a woman's mournful flute or the distant weeping of a heartbroken concubine. Here in the heart of Beijing, beneath the watchful gaze of the Dragon Throne, the legacy of the harem lives on, not just in the history books, but in the very fabric of the Forbidden City itself. Its walls are adorned with the stories of emperors and their many wives, each a pawn in the deadly game of desire. Who knows what secrets these ancient stones hold, what whispers linger in the shadows, or what spirits may still walk freely among us. As the last visitors make their way home, the Forbidden City settles into an uneasy silence. The streets around it empty, leaving the massive structure bathed in the silver glow of the moonlight. It's in these moments, when the crowds are gone and the moon hangs heavy in the sky, that the true spirit of the Harem comes alive. Step into any courtyard and you're surrounded by the ghosts of women past, their laughter echoing between the pillars, their footsteps imprinted on the marble floors, their memories woven into the very fabric of the walls. And as the night deepens, you might just catch a glimpse of them, the women of the Harem, forever frozen in time, forever bound to this place of beauty and despair, where petals fell in silence. Thank you for watching.